Hi, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you, Valeria and the One Inch team for organizing this lovely last-minute event. And we all know Davos is chaos. And thank you for joining us. So this is Institutional Adoption of Decentralized Finance 2024, What We Need Going Forward. And we have a panel of experts in the institutional world, 2 large banks, as well as a prominent crypto exchange with Svetlana and Kraken. So maybe we could just go down the line quickly and make a quick intro of our panelists and what they do at their respective institutions. Go ahead, Romain.
Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Romain Braud. I'm head of digital asset at Arab Bank Switzerland. So I have a decade in crypto, basically make me Dino, probably. So what we do at Arab Bank, we do like custody, trading, lending, advisory, discretionary. We even do staking and NFT integration. So we have a very broad offering amongst all the different verticals that we have, which is private banking, commodity trade finance, and treasury activities.
Oh, and just to add to that, I'm sure a lot of folks here want to network and want to meet you guys. So is there anything in particular you're looking for or hoping to partner with?
Well, we always look at cutting-edge technologies. That's why we were really happy to join this One Inch panel, because we believe that One Inch is at the forefront of innovation regarding the features, regarding the UX that provide you the new, let's say, like customers or people like retail market. So yeah, we are open to building partnerships, opening new accounts. Yeah.
Nestor.
Yes, thank you very much, and also to One Inch for organizing this great event. I'm Néstor Palao, I'm the head of DLT and corporate clients at Sygnum, which basically means that I deal with my team with all the crypto clients of the bank when it's foundations, crypto startups, and the founders of those. I've been working with Sygnum now for almost 4 years, so almost since we got the banking license, and since then it's been quite a fun ride. We are now positioned as the largest crypto bank in Europe and Switzerland. We serve
4 billion assets under management.
Exactly, and we mainly focus on crypto clients, while other banks face issues when dealing with crypto customers. We have developed all the bank around this type of customers, so that's our expertise, actually.
Right.
Hi, my name is Svetlana Sailer, and I'm an institutional relations solution manager for the EMEA region at Kraken. So Kraken is one of the largest, most trusted crypto exchanges globally. I'm coming from traditional finance. I spent over 10 years in leading financial institutions in Europe mostly, and my personal crypto journey started in 2015. So I belong to those who are still early adopters in crypto. Happy to be here. Thank you.
And is there anything in terms of networking opportunities you're looking for, and who you would like to talk to?
Well, yeah, networking. That's what Davos is about. I think networking, not just party, but talk to people, see, learn about developments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right. So if you're a project out there, we've got some great institutional experts here who want to talk to you. All right, let's start off with one of the first questions, which is, what is the state of institutional DeFi right now? So you're working with different institutional players. What is the sentiment out there? We can begin with you.
Yeah, I think we're still early on institutional DeFi. First, because of regulations. I can only speak about regulation in Switzerland because we are Swiss-based, and for us, it's quite clear the way we need to build institutional DeFi is only with permission pools. We need to identify all the different counterparties. So far, we're still early. It's really about building all the infrastructure globally that will help basically to develop.
Nestor, want to add to that, and maybe, what is the friendliest region in your view?
Starting by your question, basically, I mean, it's very clear to us that Switzerland is positioned as the most crypto-friendly jurisdiction in the globe at the moment. not taking into account all what's going on in the US, Switzerland has been since very early on, proven to be interested in exploring technology and also crypto. Basically, the simple case of granting banking licenses to banks already back in 2019 was very heavy start into the space, and it continues like that. All the regulation around staking, stable coins, and so on, it also helps to pave the way to projects that are building here. And adding to what Romain said, we have seen already a few projects, also 1inch itself with 1inch Pro, but also Aave and a few other players in DeFi mainly that have launched already their institutional focused offerings that are interesting experiments. Interesting also that it comes initially from crypto and not from traditional players coming into crypto. Volumes are heating up, but still there is a way ahead. Yeah.
And Svetlana, you are responsible for development in the Europe, Middle East, Africa region. So you have an understanding of a broad geography. Where do you see the state of DeFi in those areas?
Well, first, DeFi was designed to serve individuals and small investors. And it gained attention by institutionals who want to leverage the advantages of the blockchain technology, so to improve their operations, to increase efficiency. I agree, we're still very early in general here. I can tell you why. So I'm coming from traditional finance, and what I see, there are certain similarities between repo, repurchase agreements, and DeFi. So what DeFi did, basically democratized what traditional institutions do on professional level. What we see is we are still early because the yields are relatively high. Once the price finding happens, so the price discovery is still happening. Once that matures, the yields will naturally drop. They won't drop to the level probably of repo because we don't have those middlemen. The only middleman in DeFi is the technology itself. So that shows that we are still at the early stage. But what I want to say with BlackRock saying we are ages before institutional adoption in DeFi happens, it pretty much depends, I would say, on the regions where those institutions are, and it also depends on how you see institutions. So if we speak about small investors, let's say smaller players somewhere in Middle East, in Asia, they have been actively discovering already DeFi and launching their new projects.
So who would be are you saying Asia is a leader? We have Team Switzerland right here, yeah. But are you saying that in terms of development, you're seeing it in Asia?
I would say the first stage would happen with the smaller scale institutions, because those like BlackRock, they are highly regulated US clients. There is still lack of regulations in general in that space. So smaller players in Middle East, they have been already actively doing some launching projects, piloting projects in DeFi. That is probably the first stage of adoption.
Yeah, and I would add also about the privacy, on the transaction. If you're on the institutional layer, you might want to have privacy when you're giving loans to counterparties. So if it's open, if it's if it's readable on the blockchain, then after you can be competed by the others, right? So you want to have first privacy and high availability networks. So basically blockchain with high TPS to enable the pipeline of transactions. Because when we talk in the FX space, as what we do for 25 years at Arab Bank, This is hundreds of millions every day that are exchanged, and it's hundreds of thousands of transactions. And if we do all these transactions off chain, right now we are struggling. So there is obviously some new method of charting, of to tackle the scalability problem. But the reality is we need to build this global infrastructure to be able to have a neutral network to exchange value between each other, between major banks, let's say. But on the retail market, it's already accessible. And that's what OneChange provides. It's just basically you can swap tokens from a token to another chain just seamlessly. And it was not possible 2 years before. It was really for tech savvy. So step by step, I think the adoption of permission DeFi will be brought by retail, the retail will push this adoption, and then the banks will have to adapt, will have to serve these 24/7 services directly from their offering.
As crypto servicing banks, you guys are, I'd say, rare in that regard to the rest of the financial world, which is much more traditional, working on legacy rails and whatnot. And so where do you see adoption in that direction? And if they don't end up, getting into DeFi, adapting to Web3, what will happen?
If I may, the first steps of institutions into DeFi that we see are mainly towards the blue chips. So they see this industry as an alternative asset class, and they want to gain exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum mainly. That's why we believe that the steps from BlackRock and other ETF issuers are quite well directed into this next stage. I think after that, what comes and what to many of us that joined early on the space is probably DeFi. And following up on what Romain said is, I think there are three main issues that we need to tackle to really bring the next, let's say, 10 billion into DeFi. One is regulation. We need a proper framework by which institutions can also access DeFi, because for them now accessing permissionless markets is too challenging. And there, again, I would say, and I'm not a government worker, but Switzerland has paved the way and moved fast first into building a framework. Second, I would say, is the scalability of the networks, what Romain said, that these institutions service millions of customers. So they need the necessary scale to process, to access these networks at this scale. And third is probably about the complexity in terms of products. When we look at the current solutions for swapping or for lending, let's look at OneInch, let's look at Aave and others. These are quite interesting solutions that took years to develop in a peer-to-peer manner, but at the end of the day are very basic financial products. And the developments that I'm aware at least of many efforts in this regard to build more complex financial solutions that mirror what is being done now in traditional finance will also help them because... Yeah.
Let's move on to, what are the opportunities in institutional DeFi and where are your companies at in terms of integrating into that world? Svetlana.
Institutions, they find themselves, I think, at the crossroad of innovation and efficiency. So that is exactly what DeFi, which is built on blockchain protocol, what it can provide. There are quite a few advantages for institutions to jump into that space, and efficiency, compelling efficiency is one of them. You can, it is built using smart contracts, which means it saves time and money. So it eliminates middlemen. It makes things faster and easier for everyone. You can reach your clients 24/7. You can include new markets and just expand your geographical boundaries through that. So include new potential client segments. With tokenization of real-world assets like real estate, equity, What you can do, you can include more clients again, offer new products. You potentially can fractionize ownership and provide high liquidity. So there are quite a few advantages what this technology brings to traditional finance, and that is what is so compelling about this.
Maybe you can jump in here, Romain, but we see these benefits of DeFi, but how ready are institutions and your bank, since you're here, you could talk about how ready they are to jump into this new world?
Yeah, I have to say we are not so many banks. Traditional banks move to digital assets. So far, there is more and more, but most of them, they don't have their own internal services. So you start with the custody layer. So you need to be able to manage a private key on behalf of the clients. But then after you need to extend the trading desk from traditional to digital assets with different counterparties from spot exchange, from market makers. So you need to have like a full coverage to upgrade step by step your infrastructure and also the way people work within the bank, right? So it takes some time. For us, we did this transformation quite fast compared to a lot of banks, I believe, because we are nimble and we brought the knowledge that we had from our previous experience from like 10 years in crypto. So for us, it was much more easy to adapt what we know from the crypto space into a bank than the bank, like traditional bankers learning crypto. So that helped a lot. But when we want to be like really like efficient and when we want to push massive adoptions, that's where all the banks start to work together. That's where all, for example, exchange start to be the engine, the execution engine, while banks remain the custody to protect the assets of the clients. Especially when we talk about last year, we were talking about FTX, about like liquidities, which were like completely robbed, and right now I think the industry has learned about it. There is some new trends coming about like separating the execution from the custody, and that's where we want to go as a bank. We always have as a duty to protect our clients' assets and to help them thrive, and that's what we do for 60 years, and that's what we continue with digital assets.
Nestor, where do you see Sygnum at in its relationship with DeFi right now and headed forward?
So we see ourselves as a front end into crypto in general, to those clients that want to invest with full peace of mind of having a bank as their counterparty to hold their assets, to buy those, but also when to access DeFi. We are exploring, I can say, and we look at all the solutions that I mentioned before very closely. But again, we feel that the first approach in the regulator is the right step. So that's basically at where we find ourselves, building those POCs, discussing it with our regulator, getting their views and understanding what is needed to push that into our clients. Yes.
What are the challenges to onboarding, would you say, Svetlana?
Well, institutions, they face a totally different area of challenges with DeFi, which are not common for traditional finance. Let's say over 1 billion hacks happened last year, breaches, compromised keys, draining of liquidity pools. That is something what is not happening in traditional finance. So institutions need to find ways how to tackle these challenges. Besides, the technology of DeFi was initially built for retail clients. And if Bank of New York, UBS want to bring their clients on DeFi structures, the technology needs to mature, needs to be adaptable. We need to be able to plug API into the legacy system, and it should be able to provide the sophisticated reporting for the bank's investors, let's say. And to compare with centralized exchanges like Kraken, there is a team 24/7 for institutional clients which helps with API integration or any other questions. So with DeFi, that might be more challenging because there is no central authority which supports. So the technology needs to be on the level, on the state of development that is feasible to plug into the legacy system, and it shall be without any flaws, shall work. And that is besides challenges in the regulatory field like KYC, AML, what Néstor mentioned.
We have about 5 minutes left, so we'll just go on to some final thoughts here. Romain, when you look at the future of finance, how do you see the legacy traditional banking world interacting with DeFi, in the sense that will DeFi take over? Will there be some remnant of traditional finance left that people will be interacting with? Will there just be more options, or will one take over another?
Yeah, I think just one thing to add about the onboarding of the clients. It's very important to understand the source of funds and source of wealth of each client. So we take every client, you need to understand like all the trail of the activities. The cross chain is complicated because more and more, people are jumping from a chain to another, from a token to another token chain, and it's very complex to reconciliate. But it's feasible. We have a lot of clients from everywhere, from crypto miners to early adopters to high frequency traders and so on. So it's feasible. So most important is like to understand your clients. That's rule number one. When we talk about the future of DeFi, the DeFi will not take over like everything from the bank. It's probably like a combination of both, like all the first services, the primary services that we need, executing payments, taking a loan, executing a trade, might be really soon on-chain, and you can exchange seamlessly with anyone in the world. But again, we will need to have like a global regulation. We are very early in Switzerland for clear regulation, despite the fact that we had this staking point like this last summer, like which was unclear, and no FINMA has clarified. So again, we can be proud of be able to build, let's say like adoption, global adoptions from Switzerland. And I do believe that the banks will become highly specialized in very specific topics to help serving customers, but they will not be just sitting and making money by just like getting the clients' money. They need to make sure they are highly valuable for the clients, and that's why we try to build, especially with the assistance of AI. We've also are looking at the forefront of all the different technologies involving blockchain. So this is our duty to help them to curate basically the market.
So do you see retail interacting more and more with DeFi and banks providing a sort of white glove service?
Yeah, absolutely. Banks, for us, we do private banking. So the minimum to open an account is very high. It's not for retail. So basically it's really for high net worth individuals, corporates, institutions. But of course, with the help of these new tools that we have, like currently everybody has seen OpenAI, the progress that they have done only in 1 year, what you can achieve with that. So imagine how the finance will be, revolutionized. So you need to make sure that you can you can use these tools as support, not OpenAI, but like some specialized LLM. You need to make sure you are keep up to date with blockchain technologies. When clients are talking about like a specific token, you need to be at the forefront of that. And that's what we need.
All right, Néstor, want to add to that? Where do you see the future of finance in terms of how DeFi interacts with legacy?
So first of all, and that's why we are here, I believe that DeFi is here to stay. And as mentioned before, I see a few problems for the adoption of DeFi by institutional players. And one of them was regulation. And I believe that actually banks and regulated financial institutions will help the regulator have these trusted parties that they know follow the regulation and then come help push DeFi in. Basically, again, we will be front ends into these asset class and set of tools to service clients with this. Yeah.
Svetlana, last thoughts?
Well, asset management is a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and the advantages what DeFi provides to the legacy system, it's just inevitable that traditional financial system will use blockchain technology, DeFi, within a decade. It is going to happen anyway. It's just a matter of regulations, of the framework, and we're heading towards adoption.
All right. Thank you so much, Svetlana, Nestor, and Romain. And thank you for joining us.